War Machine, episode 19. Go. All right, so as you can see, got the cab up off the frame here. So let me show you what we're going to do underneath here. So you see here where this needs to get all tied in. That's one of the lower cross members there, so we got to tie that in. Then, like you can see, this is where I patched up where I had to cut that hole. You can see this is how you know when you got a good weld right here. When you can see it burn all the way through, you shook it up the backside good. So I'll clean all this up, seam seal all this in real nice. That way it's nice and waterproof. Then under here you can see where the floor's attached all along through there. You can see the new pieces that I put in, dusted a coat of etch on them right here. Got a little spot right here. I'm gonna probably trim this stuff back. That way it's kind of more flush. That way I can put some seam sealer on it and seam seal up all this stuff. That way to keep debris and water and stuff, you know, right here. I've got to attach this cross member in here. Then here's our main cross member. Got to straighten that chunk right there, but tie all this in together. Move it up and through here. You see the little gap. I've got a bridge here. Tie all that junk together. Here, this, you know, I can reach all behind that. So I'm going to trim this across here. That way I can get up in there and seam seal it good. And just basically tie this one in right here all the way around. You can see how the floor is all welded together all the way around. Let me roll over upside down here. You can see how she's all burned in good. So next step is to cut loose all the parts where debris and water can get behind. I showed you a few of those. Cut them loose and get them all hammered together and everything. Then cut up some metal and get this lower section all put together so we can start some seam sealing and get ready to put a little paint on there. Well, finally, gonna get started putting these brackets on. First one, you know, bend it in the vices like I did the other ones, beat the crap out of it with a hammer and do it, you know, the hard way because I don't have a press brake like I would like to have. But anyhow, we'll start putting them in here, bracing this thing up and get the bottom of this thing ready to go. So here we go. are. Oh goodness. That took a lot longer than I had thought it would take, but there it is. All done. All right, well, as you can probably see a little bit of anyway, I got some rust in the back of this cab, some rust holes here, like another hole here, there's like a little one here. So where I had brought in the bottom of that floor on the back of the cab was right across here. So essentially there's nothing that's attached across here. So what I'm gonna do just to go ahead and just kind of get rid of it, and it'll help me to get in and seam seal this underside of this right here. I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna cut all this off right across here, just kind of pretty it up a little bit on the edges here. Then when I spray the underside of the floor, I'll be able to spray it, get some good rust prevention on there. Seam seal it real good so I don't have a water leak or any kind of problems like that. And then I'll come back over and I'll just kind of tape this area off right here after the fact. I'll blow a little bit of etch and some undercoating there. You'll never see it anyway because it's going to be, you know, they'll have a flat bed against it anyhow, but give me an opportunity I can cut a rusty chunk off anyhow. So, that being said, let's do a little measure, get out a cut off wheel, do some cutting. So as you can see behind me, the floor is done. Now before I show it to you, I'm going to tell you all about the products that I put on it. The paint that you see on there is stuff called POR 15 for rust. This stuff is awesome. It's got something in it. I'm guessing probably like an acid etch or something like that. You can put it directly on bare metal, painted metal. You can put it on rust and it will stop rust. I put it on there. Basically what I do once I got all the metal work all done, and everything ground off and finished out, I went ahead and sprayed just one wet coat of this stuff over everything. That way all the metals got good little acid etch to it, got corrosion protectant on it before I put seam sealer on it. I put seam sealer on there obviously to keep dirt and debris from getting in between the weld joints and rusting the thing out. Not that I will ever own it long enough for that to happen, but just because that's just how it should be done. That's proper craftsmanship. So, I went over after I did the POR 15. I used some urethane seam sealer. I went over and spread it all my joints real good. Made sure I wiped it and filled any gaps and everything. Then I came back behind that with a sprayable seam sealer, just to kind of lay over it and, you know, make it look better and just make sure it's sealed up because that stuff kind of splatters into all the gaps real good. We got a special gun for that I brought home from work and blew it on there right quick. So let me give you a quick tour, show you how it finished out. All right, well, I'm not sure how good this is going to show up. I got some better lighting in here now, but if you remember the section that I had to cut out for the bar that went across the bottom of the floor, that's where that was. She's all seam sealed up now, nice and tight. I'll just take you down this side right here because the sides are identical. So I hope you can see that. Try and catch the light just right. See where all those plates are all welded on and together. Let's see. All the way across through there. Then you can see up in there, that's where that rear section of floor, the pieces go together. That's all seam sealed real good too. So then we'll just roll on out right across the back of the cab there. See where I cut that down? Everything's all seam sealed up nice. The bottom of the floor is done. Well, there you have it. Finally got that floor all knocked out. Now, I will honestly say, out of all the stuff I've done work on this truck so far, this was by far the one that really kind of tested my my dedication. Man alive, I thought when I got the inside of this floor done that I pretty much had it licked, man. The hardest part was done, but this, because doing the underside of this floor is one of those things that you really don't feel like you're getting much done. You feel like you're just doing the same thing over and over and over and over again. And it took forever. I can't even tell you how many clips this was that I had to time lapse together and pinch and throw stuff away to try to shorten it up so this wasn't like a 9-hour long video. This took me a long time to totally work in the underside of this floor. And that's why I definitely showed you all the grinding that goes into it, and the cleaning it up and having to hammer metal out of the way to get it where it all still stays together right and it works good together. And it got monotonous. You know, some jobs like this, you know, you just get to the part where it's not really fun. You're just kind of grind, and it just wears on you. It just wears you down. And I don't even remember how long this took. It seemed like it took 9 months to do. But you know, when you get to that point like this, the guy on B is for Build, he said something one day I thought was pretty good. He said, you know, you just got to finish. You have to finish. When you get tired and you don't want to push through anymore, you just have to keep imagining how cool it's going to be when it's done and stick with it. And I did, and I pushed through it. And the next part was way cooler once I got done with it, and it finished out the way I had envisioned it. And it looked good, and it'll be functional, and it'll be strong in the event that somebody runs over me in this damn thing. I ain't gonna worry about the floor falling out from under the sumbitch. So, I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, click the subscribe, turn your post notifications, watch for more. Thank you.